So today we're doing the hinges Mark 1 conversion. So we've got these two drilled. It's quite hard because you've got to try find the inner panel and try to get the holes as close as you can. Obviously then realign the door. The other side's done. Before I've done the video. So yeah, we're going to try to locate these holes, drill them, line them up, and then we need to get the door in rough position to where it needs to be. Fortunately the door lines aren't perfect because I've changed the door skin. It's an aftermarket non-genuine one, so they're not brilliant, but we can do that afterwards once the door's hung. So yeah, we'll get the door lines as close as we can. The other side we had a problem with it because this was actually twisted, so it was further closer to here than it was here, but we managed to heat this up here and that side, and then clamp it to this basically, to pull it forwards, and then just left it for a few hours to settle. It seems to have fixed it. So yeah, carry on, try line this up and figure out how to do it. So this is what I'm planning. Now this is an A panel off a Mark 1 Mini. The difference is it has a curve going around there, which I'm not using. I'm not using this. But you see that is about 3 centimeters off the edge there and there, so it's the same. So what we can do is measure 3 centimeters there, and that'll be our first hole. And then all we've got to do then is measure the distance from that hole to that hole, just to get our distance from there, and then it will sit about there. That'll be our first hole, and then all we've got to do is measure the distance from there to there to get our second hole. They're really close. They're really close to the edge lip here, which I can't actually believe, but this is actually standard. Very close lip. The same with the hole for the door. It's literally on the lip here, but we're going to strengthen the inside of each door by using angle and a bit of flat bow. I'll show you later how we strengthen the inside, but first of all we just want to mark up all the holes, get the door hung, make sure it opens and closes as basically a Mark 1 / Mark 3 would. So the conversion that we're doing isn't a Mark 1 conversion as such, because the Mark 1s, the doors are straight down either side with a curve at the bottom. Obviously the hinges are different, and the roof comes lower, so this lip here comes down to about there on the Mark 1s all the way across. So we're not really a Mark 1 conversion as I've seen on other YouTube channels. I'll tag them below if you want to do a proper Mark 1 conversion. This is just for aesthetic looks, because I prefer the external hinges and the Mark 1 lights. So this costs, to do this sort of conversion, if you do it yourself, costs about £300, depending what panels you buy. So the A panels are about £30. The inner ones, I use standard Mark 3 A panels and just drill your holes, and you can actually do it without taking this off. So if you've got good A panels, what you do is you weld along there and along there, and then along this seal here. I actually took this one off to weld up because it was quite bad, the original one, but you can do it without it. So you just weld along on the inside and along the top to get your inner wing supports, and on your door I'll show you later how to make the supports for that. I go a bit overkill with it, how I've done the other door. Could probably show you in a second, but yeah. But it's sort of a budget conversion as such, and it's just mainly for looks and making sure your door opens and closes. So obviously it's not one to claim as a Mark 1, it never will be a Mark 1, but looking at it, it will look nice, I think. So yeah, I'm going to get them marked up now and see if I can mount my phone somewhere so you can see me doing it. Still haven't got a GoPro yet, or GoPro mount. I've got the GoPro, but yeah, so I'm going to mark these up and give it a go. Right, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to mark 3 centimetres off of here. I think it comes to about here, but we'll just mark it in several places. So it's 3 centimetres away from that lip there to where the first hole is. We'll just go lower because I've got a feeling it's a bit lower than that. And the second hole is really close to there, but we can work that out. So then I'll need to mark the distance from this hole to that hole so that I can roughly work it out, and it's 23 centimetres. So 23 centimetres from the centre of that hole to the centre of this hole here. So in theory that should be our first hole. In theory. We'll put that to the test now. We'll get a drill. Just a small pilot hole. Now if you mess up with this, it's still, so you can always, because that hole's a bit messed up, but it's still, so you can just tack it, weld it and clean it up if you mess up. But it should be okay. Should really hole punch it, but I can't bother, so we'll just get it out. And we actually missed it. We're actually too far over that way. So there you go, there's a mess up, but what we'll do now is I'll move it over slightly. I can see the hole, so we're not far off. But what I'll do then is just cover that up with weld, grind it, clean it off, and then the hole will be slightly next to it. Fortunately, this is the joys of customising stuff. I'm not going to get it right every time. That's right through. So we was a little bit out of our measurements. I'm not sure how, maybe that was just poorly measured. But it is free, it is, I just poorly measured where the line went. So you obviously measure twice and drill once apparently, but I didn't do that. So we're going to open up the other hole, and all I can do is, once that's on there, that will cover up that hole, but I will tack it and weld it and clean it. So this is going to be the hard bit, is making sure that hole gets drilled without stepping into the other one too much. So that's pretty much perfect now. Obviously without that hole there, but like I said, just weld it, clean it up. So the next one, so we'll do the other hole now. I'm going to measure the distance again. So it's 32, so it should be the same. Should be the same. So we're going to go, let me just double check the distance of that. Yeah, 32, so we're going to go 32 centre there to here, so it should be there. So that's the, should be the centre of that hole, which looks about right compared to that hole. And then what we'll do is measure the distance between these two holes now, and hopefully that gets our second. But like I said, it's very close to that lip. Me personally, if I was redesigning it, I'd probably have it a little bit further down. So it's not quite 3.5. It's just 4cm on the bottom one, and the same with the top, so just 4cm. So like I said, very close. Put this straight. Probably better off if you had a metal ruler basically, but it should be about there. So like I said, working with steel, so you can always weld it. I'm going to go with a small pilot hole again. Go there. Should definitely hole punch this before. Again, slightly too high. Slightly higher, but if you just put your drill at an angle, should be okay. And this one has to be a bit cleaner because how small the ends are. But there's one. The other one's in the cutter somewhere. These, luckily these have Allen key bits, so you can take them off as and when. But that's roughly where they'll go. And I'll do the same with the door. But before we do that, let me just grab this. So before we drill these holes out, I will get the door lined up better than that, but they look pretty good to be fair. Probably could have drilled the holes out a bit better, but as you can see, they're covered pretty well, and the hole on the inside is actually the bit that holds it. Doesn't matter if the wing's too big, but I will just weld up around them holes and just clean it just so it looks a bit better. So yeah, so I tend to use cardboard. If you can get like a solid cardboard, I tend to fold them out. They say this gap should be a £1 coin all the way around, but I'd pay anyone who can show me a mini that is a £1 coin all the way around the edge. But we'll try to get as close as we can before anything. So what my plan is to get the black painting this black, and then put it on, and hopefully we get an imprint of that, which will give us our locations for the screws. And this is a trial thing because I didn't do it on the other side, which I probably should have. So I'm hoping that gives us our imprint for when I put that on there, close under the door. The door line's pretty good at the minute. It's probably the best I can get at the moment. So this bottom bit needs sorting out, but that was just how I got the skin. So yeah, we're going to try that. I can't video it unfortunately, but all I'm going to do is brush this black paint, put it on here like that, and then close it onto that, hoping it leaves an imprint of the hinge. So yeah, so there she is. I'm hoping this works. So we'll put it in there and just line it up ever so slightly, and so there looks about right. So hopefully when I take it off, it leaves an imprint of where we can drill. So yeah, it's this hole, this first hole here, where it is. But that should be our hinge. So I'll drill that out now and see how we look. So I'm just going to wipe that paint off that hinge because it don't need to be on there. Alright, so that's all 4 holes drilled now. I haven't actually got to put the threads. I'm going to put the threads on this now and test it. That should be that first hinge on. Hopefully that's that. I'll get them on. Alright, so there she is. Hinges on. Gap is looking pretty good along there. It's just to clean up this door skin really, where the door skin ain't brilliant. Like this gap here is what I'll probably end up doing, is putting a bit of filler on here where the door skin goes around but the body doesn't. That just wants a tap over here, but other than that, it's looking pretty good around. So we'll just open it now. It opens pretty well, pretty solid. Here's how these open. So obviously got to do up that bolt quickly. But yeah, she's fitting pretty well. Obviously once the rubber's on, that'll fit up even better. Bit of a gap at the top, but I think that's just how minis fit, to be fair, because I can't get that line any better there, and that matches on there. So next job now, we're taking the door back off, strengthening up the inside. So there's one bolt there that I'll tighten up now once I figure out where I put my ratchet. There it is. So I will change this to a screw one because that's what the pack come with. So just tighten that up a bit. The bottom one's a screw because that's what we managed to fit. So that is tight. So then what my job is now is to cut along here. Now I'll stay away from these holes because that's where the door card fits. So I'll tend to cut along here. That's why I haven't welded this bottom panel up yet. It's just spot welded. Cut along there, along here, just so I can access this. And this is what I'm using, just some old scrap metal. So this will be cut in half. And I'll have one at the top. This has to be slightly bent. That's why I've gone with this. Slightly bent for the top one, flat for the bottom. And that has just hold that in. So then what I'll end up with is a bit of angle there to brace between this one and that one. I'll just get the other door and show you how I braced that one. It's a bit overkill, but it's better to be too much than too little. So as you can see, it's not quite finished yet, because that's where the door handles go, I believe. So yeah, just cut along here. I kept these because I thought the door card will go on and fit better how it should be. So obviously there's the angle that connects to there. And then it goes into the bottom here. I haven't drilled the holes back out yet. Excuse the messy welding. It's not the easiest thing to do, is weld inside the door. She's tacked onto the door skin. It doesn't have to be too solid, but that's not going anywhere. That will hold the door. On the inside I've welded where the original hinges went. Obviously you can see I struggled to get the original hinges off. I've kept these on for now because I'm not entirely sure whether they'll work with how the door opens with the Mark 1. I'm not sure if that will work, but quite possibly may have to change that. We'll come back to that in another video of how to get that. But yeah, as long as the doors open and close, the minute they do, perfect. And it looks similar to a Mark 1. And obviously looking at it, you know it's not Mark 1 because of there's no curve on this bit and it's curved there rather than straight down. But maybe one day I'll do a Mark 1 replica shell, but there's a lot of work. Like I said, I'll tag the guys that I've been watching over the last couple of weeks because they're doing a pretty good job. I think they started in their garage. But yeah. So now we'll take this door off, get it on there, strengthen it, and then bolt it all back on. I want to just get all the doors, the bonnet, the boot on. Now I've got a Mark 2 boot at the minute, which is not far off a Mark 3. It just hasn't got the holes drilled out for the number plate lights. The Mark 1 has a bit where the number plate goes on to, but it all bolts on the same. I probably will change it to a Mark 1 boot if they're the same. The bonnets are pretty much all the same. So the Mark 3s hinges are here obviously, and the Mark 1s I believe they're here. I think this is where the Mark 1s bolt into, so they're slightly in the middle, but the bonnets I believe are the same, apart from they don't have the lip, but that is just spot welded on. I'll do another video of how to change the bonnet. So yeah, I've obviously blanked off the second window screen holes because I don't need it. That was a bit of a repair because it was rusted up around here. Indicator holes I've covered, and the aerial I've covered because I'll probably put a digital radio in this in the future. So yeah, let's get in there. Alright, so I'm just going to mark roughly where these are going to go, just so that I can give it a bit more cleaning up when I take these off. So roughly there, so that's where it's going to go. I'll give it a couple tacks in there, you see, along there, and then once that's in, that'll be pretty strong, pretty solid. Yeah, so I'll just use this belt sander just to give it, to get in there, but that I can use a grinder and do. So I'm just going to take these off. Like I say, these have got like little Allen-keys on. So I'm just going to take these out just so I don't damage them when we're cleaning up. And take this one off. Like I said, I've just had to take the inner skin off around there, just so we can get to these a bit easier. Just strengthen it. Put my goggles on, take these off, take these out so I don't lose them. So I just want to plug it in properly. 1 second. Alright, so these are all cleaned up now. So this one's a straight one, this one on the bottom. So that's hinges moved a bit, but should be able to get that in there then. So we'll just get that tightened up a bit. Just make sure getting in there tight. Luckily the top one was tight and the bottom one I left loose by accident, but should be okay. That's sort of in a position there. Yeah. Right, so there she is. Not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's hidden. So it's just tacked in there, couple of tacks on there. Just welded there. It's mainly just to hold the two brackets together on the door. So yeah, that's plenty strong enough. So we're just going to etch prime in there just in case it gets damp or whatever, it won't rust a new door skin. Yeah, then we'll get this back on. So take the studs off. So we just want to get some etch primer, just to etch inside here, just so probably don't have to do this, but better safe than sorry. Yeah. We'll get the outside bit on now. Alright, there she is, tacked on. That's all I need. There's a brace going inside, hinges on. So we'll go back on the car just to get ready, bodywork ready. Come back on.